Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this very brief presentation. I want to share with you an idea about the word Lambano, Lambano. It's a word I've discovered some months ago that's really changed my life to have an understanding of what that really means. But before I get into it, and by the way, it's a past tense, the way it's set up. But first, I want to lay a little foundation before we get into the word Lambano, Lambano. It's a Greek term, and by talking about visualization, because it goes hand in hand with that. When you enter into your desire, and there's no power in the world that, well, that can stop you because you already have that desire. If you lambano it, that we're going to talk about, for instance, if you desire to own a successful business and you saw yourself already enjoying that business as if you already have it, then there's nothing in the world that can stop you. That's just the truth. You can lay a hand on it because you own it. That's really how it all works. Well, we've heard the idea that whatever you put your hand to, you can do it. You maybe talk that to your children. But Scripture says, know ye not that you are the tabernacle of God and the Spirit of God dwells in you? Now, most Christians would profess, oh, yeah, I've accepted Jesus to my heart. But that's not what this is saying. Like he was outside of me and then he jumped into me. Well, that's just a religious talking point, if you will. So what is this all about that I'm talking about? What I say? You lay hands on it because you own it, you lambano it. What it's saying is that you are the temple of God, and God dwells in what? Humanity from the beginning. He created the blood man, Adam, and he breathed into his spirit life, Zoe life. I'm going to mention right now Genesis 2:7, because this is a scripture that changed my life forever. When I grabbed that scripture and understood it for the first time many years ago. What he did, God created the man and he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. That was God's very life himself that he breathed into mankind right there in Genesis 2:7. If you really can grab that and understand it and lambano it for yourself, then God is in you. That's right. So when you look at yourself in the mirror, God is looking good today because he says you know that you're the temple. And so, because of that, then what? When you see any human being on the planet, really they are a garment, and God's hands are in that particular person, which is even when the baby is born of a woman, every single one of them. They are the temple of God, and the Spirit of God dwells in them. Yea, Christians they'll profess that. They really will. You've heard it on social media, but they have no idea what does that really mean? Well, because we are the temple, and God dwells in the temple. In fact, he says everything's been given to us in that temple. So if you enter a desire as if it's already happened, did you know because of lambano is in the aorist tense in Greek. It says, believe you have already what? You already have it. It's already a done deal. I'm already enjoying it. If you can just see yourself, can you just see yourself already enjoying that good health, that new business, that new relationship? Well, whatever it is that you can visualize, you'll receive the means to get there. Now, we don't know how it's all going to happen, I'll be honest with you, but you will get there. And so we say things like this all the time. You can do whatever you set your mind to, don't we? We tell our kids that in particular. Yes, exactly. Then we give them scriptures and all these things cause the misinterpretation. And translation of scripture says, the exact opposite. And then they go to the church and they find that the church is even saying the opposite. But intuitively, we know that's true. You have probably examples in your own life. I know I do. But let's look at the word Lambano, Lambano. It says take what is one's own. It is to take what is one's own, to take to oneself, to make one's own, to claim it, procure it for oneself. Let's look at John 3:27, opposed to what is given. John 3:27 out of the New King James Version says this: a man can receive nothing unless it has been given to him by God. We have been given everything for life and godliness. That's in Peter, and we've already been blessed with all spiritual blessing. Well, that's Ephesians 1:3. We have everything in the kingdom, and the kingdom resides in humanity. At the resurrection, we received all these gifts from the Father because of love. He loves us. And because of the love, we have everything that we need for spiritual life and physical life already. Can you just believe and receive it today? That's what this little lesson is about. Listen, relax. Put your headphones on, put some relaxing music on, and just visualize what you want to Lambano to receive that is already yours. Just tap into it, believe and receive it, and it'll come to pass. And don't worry about how it's going to happen. We don't really know that. But that's God's part of the process of just letting that happen because God knows how to do it when we don't know how. So this little lesson I hope is encouraging. Look up the word Lambano, Lambano for yourself in Greek, and it'll change your life. It did mine, along with real back in Genesis 2:7. God formed man and breathed into his nostrils the very breath of God himself. It's called Zoe, life, the life of God. So, as I end everything that I do, I always say, well, what? Be blessed today because you already are. So bye-bye now.